everybody. Hope all of you are good. Today I'm going to talk about something very little, how I make my beats in the studio. So I'm going to show you an intro to how you can make a reggae production, a reggae beat. So I'm using this softwares, Addictive drums. That's my drum kit I'm using for now. Okay, then I'm using Cubase. Cubase is my main DAW that I use, Cubase 11 Pro. So I'm just going to show you how I do a reggae production, just a simple beat for now. And my percussion stuff are also from Stylus, so that's where I have my shakers and other stuff. So I'm going to work with drums, bass part, and maybe a brass section, just a little programming, so you can see how I do my reggae production in the studio. So with the percussion, I'm going to use stylus, and what stylus really does is it makes the work very easy. You just throw it in, and stylus is going to give you a tons of tones. For instance, I'm like this. So you choose what will work best with the production. But I'm going to go for this shaker because I think it's better for the production. Okay. And I can add some few percussion stuff too. Okay, so virtually this will be it for my percussions. Now let me go to the keyboards. I'll be playing the piano from Sample Tank 3. That's what I'll use for my main back in the strike. Then I'm using ocarina to do the vamp, that kind of thing. Ocarina to do that. It is from Halion Sonic SC, a Cubase inbuilt plugin. That's what it looks like. That's a Halion Sonic 3 SE3. That's what I'll use to create my vamp. My brass section is also going to be from Sample Tank 3, Pop Brass Sofrenzando. Then my guitar is also from Sample Tank 3. Then my bass is from Nexus. I'm going to use Nexus. We have basic sign. That's what I will use. So virtually, let's get to it. I'm going to use key F as a demonstration key. All right. I'm going to play some part. I use Nexus part, single layer part, ambient part 3. It's one of my favorite parts. It has this warm ambience that it adds to, and any instrumental you do. So let's listen to that too. Let's create some bass lines. Be experimental though. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. All right. Let's train this bass line. 1, 2, 3, go. Yeah. I like the ending note, so let me edit it a bit. And one more of the notes to it, and you have a complete bass. Perfect. Yeah, it's going on. I record up. Let me create some guitars for my sample tank tone. All right, let's keep working. Okay, there's a request from someone right now. Samorastino, he just said, Robo One, keep watching, bro. Yeah, we got you covered. Go for phone, natural message. Hey, experiment, Alpha. Go YouTube to see and go ahead some Fatty channel live. Yo, Rastino, Rastino, I see your comment. All right, keep bringing the comments. If you like what we're doing, just keep bringing it on. All right. So let's create. Rastino, I just saw your comment. Thanks for the comment. Keep coming in, keep bringing the comments. If you enjoy whatever we're doing here, keep bringing your comments. All right, let's keep on. One, two, go. So the guitar is standing a bit too static, so I'm going to use this plugin that I call Quantizer. It's an inbuilt Cubase plugin. When you go to MIDI inset, that's where you can get the swing feel to a production. So I'll take it to like maybe 50-70%. So it makes you get the swing feel for it to sound more natural. Now using a metronome, listen to this feel, and without the quantizer, listen to how the guitar sounds. So you can see this is very static, but when we use the quantizer, you will see that the swing feel, it will give you a natural swing feel. So without the quantizer, the instrument is going to be very rigid. So I recommend you use the quantizer in your Cubase. Anytime you're doing a program that you want to have a little more of the swing feel, it's in the MIDI inset session when you go in a Cubase. From Cubase 5, you even have it. So you don't have to have the Pro I have before you get this effect. So when you go to Cubase 5, MIDI inset, you see quantizer. It has a whole lot of stuff, but I usually use the quantizer to add the swing feel. So when you select the quantizer, you see swing. Yeah, and you can adjust it to how you want it to sound. So this is without the quantizer, and now this is the quantizer. When we add some marimba to this, it will not sound bad. Let's look for some marimba in our search button. Marimba. Good. I think I want the general MIDI. It sounds better. Also add the swing effect using the existing triplet quantize. So the amazing thing about Quantizer, you can keep changing it based on whatever you play, the rhythm you chose. The Quantizer can switch up the rhythms in any way possible. So let's experiment. I'm using 16T right now. If I change it, so I'll turn on the metronome. If I change it to 32T, you can change it in diverse ways. So you don't have to reprogram it. It will keep changing it too. So Quantizer is a really powerful tool in Cubase. So the same thing I played keeps evolving. This is amazing. I'm going to stick with the 16T because that's the kind of feel I want. Yeah. I think the marimba sounds a bit dark. Let me put on some equalization for it to sound a bit brighter. Now let's add some horn session to make this complete. Keep bringing the comments. Okay, from Isaac. Okay, Aqua. Robo, I really love what you're doing. Much love. Thank you, Isaac Aqua. I really appreciate your comments too. All right. Let's create some horns to make this complete. Anybody who wants this beat is absolutely free. You can come for it anytime at Sound Factory Studio. So let's make the horn sound a bit strong by going to the next octave. So you press shift on the keyboard and then the plus sign up. So you have this now. So this way it has some presence. Yeah. One, two. Sorry, I just had a technical problem, so I'm reopening the project. Then I can see if we can add some vocals to it. Okay, we're back online. So let me try and create an input for the microphone to see if there will be a signal that can flow. Unfortunately, we cannot record. Too bad. But as I said, this beat is available for whoever wants it. It's absolutely free. You can come for any time. Now let me show you how I mix my drums when I'm using Addictive drums plugin. Okay, so I know a lot of people have this plugin too, but so many people find it difficult to create separate output channels. So usually people will use about 5 different Addictive drums because to create a kick. So normally in the VST plugins or instruments, you will see about 5 of the Addictive drums because they don't know how to do the output channels in Cubase. So when you right click on the Addictive drums, when you right click, you will see activate outputs. Usually all this will not be activated. So when you click on activate outputs, that means it's going to give you your master track, your kick, snare, so you can have separate output channels. So you don't have to create about 5 Addictive drums to get your kick, snare and whatever. So on the mixer, you will see that all the inputs will come. Now when you open an Addictive and you go to the kick, all this highlighted stuff will be at the master, as the master session. Yeah, so in the general sense, this is how it's going to look like. So all the Addictive instruments will be playing through the master, meaning it'll be very difficult to mix the instrument individually, like the kick, snare and whatever. So what I do usually is I'm going to select or solo them individually. So I select the kick, then I open that, and I send the kick to separate out post fader. This way it's not going to have anything to do with the master. So that way you can ideally treat the kick in your own comfortable way, or you can choose to use the other option, separate out pre. But I realized with the pre, it doesn't give you the output that you need, so the greener the better. So when you mute the master, you can, so the traces of the kick you're hearing is from the room of the kick. That's why you can hear the ambience. So with this kick, this is how normally I'll treat my live kick. The frequency, I usually used to, I want it to sound like an acoustic kick, so I open it a bit to about this 324 hertz. Then the more I shift it to my right, the kick will become lighter, more like an acoustic set. But if I want to have a little bit of heaviness, I shift it to about 200 hertz. This way it's torn in between, but as soon as it goes beyond 200 hertz, it will start becoming very heavy, which will not fit the nature of the song that I'm doing. So I prefer to let it be here. And when I want bites, I select my third frequency, but I don't really need bites in this particular programming, so I bring it down a bit. So usually that's how I treat my kick. You can capture that, screen capture. Then my hi-hat, it is next. My hi-hat, as we can see, it's also playing through the master, so I have to select it, separate out, and it can have its own life. So this way, when I mute the master, this is the hi-hat. It sounds a bit heavy. So if you're using Cubase 11 Pro, this is the best way you can treat the hi-hat, the post and master fade. So you can use the high pass filter. What this does is that any heavy thing that is in the sound or the tone or the frequency, when you shift it to the right, it allows only the high filters to pass through. So that's the meaning of this. So high pass is only the high stuff that you will hear, and when you use this, it allows the low frequencies to pass through. You only hear the low frequencies, and it will cut all that. So this is low pass. Okay, now I want to hear a little more of a height, so I shift this. I'm sorry, if you're using Cubase 5, you will not have this being added, but you can use plugins like FabFilter has this effect to it too. So this way my height becomes lighter, and if I want extra brightness, I can lift the for the openness. So usually this is how I treat my hi-hat if the song has a live scenario. So if I bypass it, this is how it sounds. So this is the hi-hat being bypassed. This is when I add mine. So it gives you that natural feel. Now to my snare drum. I'm going to send it to its ideal output fader. For the nature of a song, I didn't want the snare to be very heavy, so I dropped my second equalizer to about 250 hertz. With that, this is how it sounds. But I wanted the snare to have more of a light sound than to it to be very heavy. So whatever I'm doing in this snare, there is a virtual drum. You can use this for a live scenario. If you've recorded live instruments like live kick samples, you can use this approach to mix your drums. So because I wasn't using a rimshot, this is cool. But if there was a rimshot, we would have had a problem. So I'll demonstrate with a rimshot by playing that too, so you can have a fair idea of what you can do when there's a rimshot. But with this, I'm cool. So we listen to the kick. Now the snare without this sounds like this. It's a bit heavy, but I don't want my snare to sound like this for this nature of song. This is cool enough. And my shaker from Stylus. Now let me add a rimshot to the programming, then I'll show you how you can treat that in a snare, because usually rim and snare are together unless you want to duplicate the snare and then work on it. This is the best approach for that. Okay, so my quantizer is giving that feel. Let's take it to 16T. It's making it very loose, so 16 will be better, and drop it a bit. Yeah. Now in a scenario like this, I have a snare and a rim going to the same channel, so I can't use this equalization. What I actually would do is to reverse it. Now naturally, if I select the rim, the best frequencies to treat snare drums is to let the width be low and let it come a bit here. So this is the best frequency point for the snare. Now let's see what this does to the snare drum. It does not spoil it that much, so we are safe. If I should bypass it, so that's the best place or frequency. And sometimes if you want to hear more of a brightness, you can increase that, but you should be very careful when doing this. You need to be sure what you're doing. Yeah, so that's the difference. Now with everything playing, don't forget, I'm not using any special compressor. I'm not using anything extreme. It's just the raw inbuilt Cubase stuff that I'm using to demonstrate all this. Now let's check the balancing. Let's add a little effect on the, a little reverb on the snare. I'm going to hit on the snare. I use blue red. Now let's add a little bit or bite on the kick. Thank you, Samuel. Say Kojo. Thanks for the comment. So I'm demonstrating how I did it. Samuel, say Kojo, if you're watching, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to show you how I did it, so you can still watch it. Now with the clavier or claves, I think it's sounding a bit sorry, I have to change the name. This is rather the clavier. I think I have to change the quantize too. So I come to MIDI insets, quantizer, so that I want to have a feel like da 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 instead of big big big. So something more like da da da. So I'm going to increase the swing a bit to like about 50. I'm still not getting this, so let me increase it some more. That's it. That's what I want. Now check the difference. This is papa, oh that's para, a little delay. That's it. Nice. Now my piano, I use a sample thank from the library of the piano, so many of them, but I use Grand Piano 1 Pop. You can find it here. That's it. So because I'm doing a reggae song, a reggae vibe, I wanted to hear more of the strike to be bright. So this is how the piano sounds naturally without any equalization. But I wanted it to be very bright. Not too bright, but at least we have a feel of that sham tone. So usually that's the magic. The equalization 3. The high mid filter or frequency. So the higher it goes, you will get that vibe, but you need to be careful so that you don't overdo it. So this drops the heaviness. When there's you can hear a little bit of heaviness, but this now ocarina is playing the role of the vamp. The truth about this is it's very difficult to get a natural vamp. It was way back when we're using hyper canvas. It was easy to use ocarina because it was very heavy. So usually what I do is I increase the low mid frequency a bit to get some of the heaviness, that effect. See if you combine them. So that you can get the vamp. And for better results, you can palm the piano a bit to the where is it? A bit to the left, something like that. Then they'll carry a bit to the right. so they don't both fight for the same space of frequency. Then I came to the so as I said, this part is very warm and it has some nice ambience. It works in Afrobeat, gospel. You can even use it in R&B because it has this solemn sound that it works everywhere. So I don't really use Nexus that much, but anytime I open Nexus and I need something of parts, this is what I use, the Ambient 3. It's really amazing. Like, it has this touching something to its vibe. Now to the guitars. Usually when I play guitars on keyboard, I don't want to imitate that way of playing, so maybe I select some few notes. And now that, let me show you a secret. If you want your keyboard to sound like the actual guitar, the maximum notes you can play are like 6 or 5. This makes it sound like an actual guitar. Something like then. Anything beyond 6 makes it sound like a keyboard. So that's how I create the guitar. Now with the bass guitar, I use Nexus, but there's a plugin in Cubase called the Tube. What it does to me, what I usually use it for is if I have bass that have very low notes, for example this one. See, notes like this becomes very difficult to get. So the Tube helps me bring those low notes out. If you can feel the difference. And so the more you increase it, but you need to be careful. At the point they will start distorting, so you need to be careful how you calculate. So I'll leave it to be around 51 or 52 just to be safe. Okay, so that's what the Tube usually does. So for bass instruments that have very low tones, you can put it on it so that you can hear the tones that are very low to hear. So this is with the Tube. Now without the Tube, this is what you hear. And when I'm playing the whole mix together, it'll be difficult to hear the lower notes, for instance. Now let me turn on the Tube and see the difference. A bit down, but the Tube opens up the lower notes, or the silent notes that can be heard. Alright. Alright guys, so this will be it for today. I just wanted to show you how I create my reggae, just a demonstration thing. Some of the things you can do when you are mixing your reggae kit or you make a reggae beat. We're going to come with other tutorials. Probably my next I'm going to do a hip-hop or something else. So thank you for staying tuned and watching. To all the fans and the people who watch this, thank you so much. Samuel Rastino, Isaac, Aqua, Samuel Saikojo, Manu Onyako. Thank you all for watching. I want to end today. We'll see you again next time. Bye.